All right, there's numbers going up. That means we're hot. That means we're hot. Yeah, scooch closer. Scooch closer. Oh, I am sorry, Bomber. I didn't know you were there. Oh my gracious, I'm stepping on the dogs.
You're such a dick.
I am a dick to the dogs. Oh my gosh. Well, all right, it's shiftless, and obviously I'm stepping on the dog, and so we're back at Dusty Roads. Weather's always a factor, and a bunch of other stuff. We got so much ground to cover, and I think this is episode 131 now.
I do believe so.
And I'm so confused because we recorded one. I held it too long. I just released it, and then we recorded another one before I released that one that has to be released. And now we're recording another one in like 3 days amongst all of them.
That's good stuff.
I'm gonna be confused. Oh man, look at this service.
You're the best.
Oh
Nico.
my gosh. Yeah, Americano when you get a chance. No, no, I'm kidding. Fantastic service at Dusty Roads Bicycles, and I'm super stoked because we had talked about this in a couple episodes. We mentioned it in the edition that was released the other day, and we confirmed it. What hasn't been released, and in the meantime, who we were saying we need to make sure to get him here. He reached out to you, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Austin Whittington is joining us once again. We've been looking forward to this for some time. We've got so much ground to cover, Brad.
There's so much stuff to talk about.
There's so much to talk about that Austin's and Nico's opinions are going to mean a lot. This might turn into 3 or 4 episodes right here. How much coffee do you have, Nico? Welcome, Austin. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to be back. I was waiting for Brad to get in touch with me, and he never did, so I thought I'd reach out.
Well, we were waiting for the holidays to die down and, all that. But
Yeah, we had agreed we were going to invite you for the week after Texas Chainring Massacre.
Yeah.
That was the
That would
plan.
have been ideal.
Yeah.
I just said once a month, and I wanted
Yeah.
to stick to it, so
Yeah.
and we're cutting it.
Hey,
close to
I
the
like
end of the month.
once a month.
I like it.
Just didn't know how January was going to be,
Yeah, definitely. You kick us in the ass. You tell us what works for you.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
like it. I
I'll
like
do
it.
that.
I like it. I like it a lot. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even know where to start. So much stuff we've talked about. It's like, we have no idea what we're talking about, but if Austin chimes in on it or Nico chimes in on it, it might bring some credibility or really throw our opinions to the wayside.
You need somebody to set us straight.
But the one thing I really want to touch on is I think I've had some sort of influence on Brad with my bike industry conspiratorialness, because I tell you what, boy, your Keegan Specialized thing is really starting to line
I
up.
told you.
It's really starting to line up. And that's where I'm going to start with Austin.
Mhm.
Let's start with the drop bar thing in Leadville. As a racer guy,
Leadville and Big Sugar.
let's start with
Yeah.
Leadville.
Yeah.
As a racer guy, and a racer guy that does race drop bar mountain bikes. Yes.
Yes, I have several times.
What is your knee-jerk opinion on the announcement about no drop bars?
Yeah, I
at
saw
Leadville?
the headline. I didn't really read into the article though.
No, and that's what I'm saying. So just first blush, what do you think of the concept?
I would assume that they're taking it as a risk management perspective and keeping it safer somehow. But that just wasn't my experience when riding drop bar mountain bike. It felt just as safe, if not safer, riding in a big group of guys
Okay.
when drop bars. I've done a couple of dirt crits on the road. This mountain bike, you're racing around a closed course at 25 miles per hour or so. With 100 other guys on mountain bikes, and it gets sketchy. With the drop bar, it's a lot less sketchy. You're just closer together. You can keep your elbows in a little better. Bars are 20% narrower on each side, so I mean, it's safer in a group.
So the skinnier form factor on a two-way up and down at Leadville, it might actually be safer.
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
drop
and not even to
bar.
mention that.
And that's the thing is they chalked it up to safety concerns, but you're still dealing with two-way traffic.
Two-way traffic.
And the people coming downhill are going 25, 30 miles an hour, and some of those are blind corners. So if you're really worried about safety, maybe do a little reroute,
It's too late for that. They've got that course established.
I know.
Yeah.
know,
They
but it's-
do a bigger do the pros on a different day as age groups or something. There's really no way around.
But
that.
I mean, to eliminate how many riders was there last year? Like
70% of the top 10 were on drop bars last year.
But what I'm saying is overall, what's the number? Was there like 10 people on drop bars?
7 out of
the top 10.
Oh, but I'm talking about
Who knows overall, but if 7 out of the top 10, that tells a story, right?
Well, that's kind of interesting because if you were to compare it to years past, I bet 50% of that top 7 out of 10 were still in the top 10.
Yeah.
On
On
flat
drop?
bars.
Yeah.
So it's the same people, just different bikes.
Less mechanicals and whatever. But yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, your top contenders are always going to be your top contenders. If you put Keegan Swinson on a freaking old school cross country super narrow bar, he's still going to be a contender, if not in the top, position, especially Leadville. Leadville's his jam. So I feel like there's turbulence behind the scenes to stifle his efforts, and they think that getting him off a drop bar is going to give them a leg up.
I think it's the other way around.
Well, his record still stands, doesn't it? He put the record course time on flat bars, not on drop bars.
Yeah,
correct.
That's true. I don't know.
Correct. But he would have done the record last year, except for the flat, or was that 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago with the flat. But everyone else is catching up with the drop bar mountain bike
Craze
technology, for lack of a better. People are getting their drop bar rigs.
If you want to
done
make it more dangerous, you ban drop bars. That way people run negative 30 stems and slam and then ride on their elbows on their bars the whole time. Like that's a good way
Puppy
to make
paw.
it safer.
It would be the ideal course for the drop bar 32. we'll definitely be getting there as well. All right. So from your racer boy perspective, the safety argument isn't clear cut as a good
I don't
justification.
think so. I mean, these are professional riders. They've been riding bikes their whole life. They know how to handle a road bike and a mountain bike.
Yeah.
And that course is I've never done it, so I can't really comment on the technical from the technical standpoint of it. But from what I've heard, it's like gravel. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's rough gravel.
Double track.
Yeah. It's the elevation is the main contender for difficulty from everything I've seen, heard, and read, and even watching the footage. I've not done the course either, but it's.
I mean, there is technically some single track, but it's a vast minority.
It's kind of like rule of three. There's road sections, there's double track, there's gravel, and then there's a small portion of single track, and so.
A pretty large portion of single track rule of three, if I remember. At least 30% or so.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's not that much at Leadville. I think it's like 15% or something. But I don't know. There's definitely something else going on. Whether it has to do with a new product reveal or what, or
well, maybe I misinterpreted your Keegan conspiracy theory. I took it the way I interpreted it. And what I'm buying into myself anyway is Specialized doesn't have a drop bar MTB.
Oh, yeah.
So they can't put Keegan on a drop bar.
Mm-hmm.
They need him on a factory bike. They need him on a showroom bike.
Yeah.
And they don't want him to get beaten by a drop bar bike.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the way you were just saying
that's
it.
the way I meant it. But
How about you, Nico? You're dialed into the Specialized world. What do you think?
Specialized did do a drop bar mountain bike,
But they don't have one now.
It's not a stock bike. They did for Matt Beers for one of his races, but actually, I think he did a drop bar in Leadville. I think
He did an Evo drop bar setup.
I think it's one of those things that you see like Pinarello come out with the new bike. Like it's obviously a very useful type bike. The drop bar gravel mountain bike, dude, you could ride that anywhere.
Yeah.
I do see how when it comes to race standings, you start to get all these people that you have to start tightening rules, right? I mean, that's how I see.
But do you? It's gravel, by God.
No, I see from like the point of
It's
like
like NASCAR.
mountain biker that like a lot of the like mountain bike heads are trying to preserve Leadville into the form of like, hey, ride a mountain bike. It's like that type of thing. But I also don't see a safety issue or anything like that. I mean, there's more safety issues with the two-way traffic. I mean, mountain bikers could run into each other. It has nothing to do with a drop bar.
Sure.
I think some brands are going to start making them in production. I think they'll do like one model here and there because it's a super popular thing. But unfortunately, with issues like this, it's going to kind of push it to like maybe like a novelty type fun thing, you know?
No,
But I don't mind either way. As a mechanic, I like the innovation, and I think it's really cool. And I try to agree with all the opinions.
You try to agree with all the
There is all the good points, right? I mean, I see it. It's like, it's not dangerous. I understand there's like rules are trying to make sure it doesn't get out of control, but they do that. There's stupid rules in road racing too, right? So it's just, when there's always a rule, it's going to happen. But yeah, I was shocked by it, to be honest. I was actually more shocked. I didn't see that coming because so many people, so many bike brands started developing from this whole trend that I thought it was going to be widely accepted. So I was more, when I read it, I was like, whoa, like I thought that blew me away.
It's interesting you say that because I was looking into it a little bit last night and actually looking for Matt Beer's bike that he rode, trying to remember exactly what that was. He finished 20th. For whatever reasons, I don't.
See, I don't think the equipment has any advantage or something like that. You know, there's some people say it's like, no,
there's an aero advantage. There's an aero advantage to it. An aero comes into play at Leadville.
And then like, the guy that got second at Leadville last year, he's a skier. For that
the woman that won Leadville last year, she was technically on a flat bar.
Yeah.
But she was doing that weird.
Courtney. Yeah. She was on the forks. Yeah.
And she had blips. She had blips on her fork crown.
And I think that's kind of cool because you took a mountain bike race and actually did a little. So that's why I love Leadville, as seeing a testing ground for stuff
right.
Like that.
And there you go. And that's it. Throw all the crazy shit at it. That's enjoyable.
And that's, I think, but it's unfortunately what happens is I think that probably wouldn't have happened if Lifetime didn't take over all that stuff. If Leadville was just a Leadville race and you had let people be confused, it becomes popular and it becomes a race series, and so you get unfortunate, right? I mean, you're gonna have
but the Pinarello, have you looked at the Pinarello? They're calling it a drop bar mountain bike, but can you really call it a mountain bike if it only accepts 50s?
Yeah, European is what you call it. That's a European gravel bike.
That's
look at gravel worlds. They're all in gravel bikes.
Yeah.
Well,
it's for sure.
Well, and that was so. I guess there was actually somebody at Leadville last year on a Pinarello Dogma with
Braden Lane.
Okay, so maybe this was all a cock block on Pinarello in a way.
Well, yeah, conspiracy. I could see the conspiracy there, but how easy is it for the Specialized to make a drop bar mountain bike? Like, they already make all the shit.
Oh yeah.
I agree they could. Well, but this goes to my grand conspiracy. I think Specialized is all in on 32, and that's why all the 32 hype is going on right now. That's my belief.
All their R&D's at 32 right now, and they don't want to throw together a new SKU.
That's
very possible.
That's where my head is on it. Hey, I'm just
I think they're going to unveil a 32 at Sea Otter.
Somebody is.
I think one of the top
and maybe that is the new Karate Monkey, man. Maybe that is the new. Maybe QB.
That's what I was saying. I think more 32s you'll start to see like the fun mountain bike.
Maybe QBP does the 26 rollout with the new Warbird and the new Karate Monkey or something like that. Who knows? I don't know.
Watch you go back to 26-inch wheels.
What? So
speaking of QBP, Caleb rolled by my house yesterday on his new Storm Chaser. He's got it set up single speed.
So that was his. I saw the picture. I didn't know what that was.
That's a slick little ride. I like it.
Are they still aluminum or are they?
Yeah, and that's one of the things I told him yesterday. I go, because I think you can put 2.1s on there, and it's got sliding dropouts. I told him, I said, man, if they made this thing in carbon, they would absolutely own the market.
Maybe.
It's a slick rig. Although awesome. I think it may still have, I could be wrong, I think it still has press fit, which makes me hate it.
So what's Austin been doing? Has this been off season for you?
No, I've been spraying, riding hard.
Okay, well,
inside as the weather's been iffy, but
training season. But any competition going on lately?
No racing. I haven't raced in a few months.
Okay,
since we talked last, I was looking forward to Chainring.
It's still happening. Can you make the 31st, or is that going to mess with your schedule?
Yeah, the weather's not looking good 31st either.
Yeah, that's too far out to even consider.
It's hard, yeah. They changed this week's like what, 2 days ago it flip flopped.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
sun
I-
60 to
Sunday it looked like we were going to have decent weather, and then by Monday, Sunday night, Monday morning, it's the end of the world.
a group of us rode Sunday or Saturday, and then we were chatting after looking at the weather, and it looked great, and all was good.
Mm-hmm.
Then Monday comes around, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
It's Nico's fault if they weren't having the grand opening.
Someone got a new bike.
So on,
He bought a lot of new bikes.
I think
so
it was just a sign though, because we all want to join Chainring Massacre. So now we're
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we're all up against here. So weather is always a factor. So Dusty Road's grand opening's affected. Texas Chainring Massacre is affected. I haven't formally announced it yet, but yeah, I'll drop it tonight that we're pushing to the 31st weekend. So fam's probably going to scratch this weekend too.
Yeah, I already sent out an email just telling them that's probably what was going to happen, which I mean, it sucks. But at the same time, I was talking to my son last night. I was like, the last thing I want is for someone to get injured on the way here, or they all make it there and it's just snowing and it's going to be a great scene because the fireplace would be going.
And you have a slumber party.
I mean, like I told him though, I said, I don't think anybody would be able to enjoy their food because their thought process is the roads are continuing to get worse as we sit here and enjoy ourselves.
Yep.
So, and then I said, and then you've got people that are going to be drinking and stuff, and then they're going to get back out on snowy roads or have an Uber pick them up or whatever. And I said, if somebody got injured on the way home, I'd be torn up too. I said, it just doesn't make any sense. So
I agree. It's not from the discomfort aspect. It's truly from the safety aspect.
Oh, yeah.
is what I'm looking at it from. That said, I mean, I can't imagine riding in temperatures in the teens and when it's icy and wet out and 20-mile-an-hour winds. That would not be. And counting up. All right, Austin, start over.
what do you have? What is this?
That's just got my speakers down low.
Okay, so it's not
Yeah,
coming through. I got you.
so we don't get
Is that
feedback.
acceptable, Brad?
I was just making sure you didn't have
I
it
understand.
muted, so it's
Okay.
not recording.
I
sound.
understand.
So
So yeah, so we're counting. You had a question
yes,
before.
So was there a specific reason why you moved Vinny from Valley View to Gainesville for Texas Chainring Massacre?
Yeah, the short answer for that is just more amenities. Back in the day, we had fantastic amenities in downtown Valley View that I think really made the show, quite frankly. Just that town square vibe with a distillery on one corner, a barbecue place on another corner, a pizza place on another corner, a winery on the fourth corner, the gazebo. Man, that was a fantastic vibe.
Yeah, I love grabbing a burger and a cold beer after the race.
And
Pizza was pretty good too.
not bad at all. Unfortunately, all that stuff in Valley Views, it hadn't survived the past
Just
few
couldn't
years.
support it.
Yeah,
Because all that stuff popped up post-COVID, right?
no, it was pre.
Oh, 16, 17.
Yeah,
early years.
it was pre. Yeah, we kind of found it accidentally doing Midnight Massacre, where we routed through town one year from Sanger, the ball fields at Sanger.
Yeah.
And we routed through town, and that was like when Whiskey Hollow first opened. And I said, "Hey, if I have people drop by,
Well,
I'll buy their drinks for them." And after that meetup, they were like, "Man, we would love y'all to actually, base your event out of here."
right.
We started doing that, had a great relationship with Whiskey Hollow. We had a fantastic relationship with the barbecue joint. They moved on. They started a food truck literally 2020.
Oh, wow.
And
I
yeah,
started a food business in 2020.
you started a food business in 2020.
Speaking of food versus
But the new place, 35 in Liberty, it has indoor restrooms. It has a food court that's starting to populate. We have
Nice restrooms, by the way.
nice restrooms
Yeah.
with nice baby changing stations. And there's more stuff coming. It has RV camping spots, which that's cool. Huge secured parking area. There's showers on site that we're going to potentially start utilizing for bike packing weekends, but potentially I'm talking with them about them becoming a staging spot just on, for travelers that want to come to that area and bike pack and ride gravel, park their cars securely there, go to 4R overnight there and come back, and they have shower and secure parking waiting on them. some stuff like that in the works. That we're planning.
Yeah, so just more accommodating, more options.
Yeah, it's right there.
Lodging is right there.
It's right there at the interstate. There's a Hampton Inn. There's a Cracker Barrel. There's every fast food place you can think of. Chick-fil-A. I mean,
And you can be on gravel in like,
Oh yeah.
100 yards.
yeah, basically you go over the interstate on the bridge, and you're immediately into gravel when you're going east.
Yeah, a lot of those roads down out of Valley View have been paved over recently as well, like
Yeah.
the last 5 years or so. They're
The
getting
stuff-
sparse.
Yeah, I mean we've been chasing gravel since year one.
Yeah.
Where our first Chainring Massacre we hosted from DFW Paintball right next to Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
And we were literally on gravel as soon as we got north of Texas Motor Speedway, and it was
They just have to move north and move north.
we kept going north, north. Yeah.
Going to be in Canada soon.
Now we've decided to start going east and west. So spread.
But you said we're getting gravel back.
Some of the gravel's been coming back. Some of the roads that got paved over, we've been through the cycle long enough for them to, well, we're not going to bother repaving it, and they just let it go back to gravel at that point. I mean,
I know that sucks for the people that have to drive it all the time, but it's awesome.
it goes both ways. There's plenty of people that live down those dirt roads that they don't want the subdivisions popping up next to them.
Yeah.
They're perfectly happy living on the dirt road, but obviously the people that the subdivisions, they want the paved roads, and things like that.
I've just always, I guess, foolishly thought that, once we lose, quote unquote, a gravel road to pave, that it's gone forever. So it's, promising to hear that some roads are returning back to gravel, because, like I said, I always thought, oh, well, goodbye.
Yeah.
That's done, And there's certain stuff that I rode when it was gravel that we will never get back. I remember when Robeson Ranch Road was gravel, and I used to ride that all the time back when I was training for Unbound. Yeah. What they call it back then. It was different back then.
Dirty
Dirty
concept.
content.
We don't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
But there's been, all the gravel that's gone away around us is not going to, eventually all red's going to be paved all the way, and John Payne is about to start getting developed. So gravel bomb's going to go away.
Gravel bomb will disappear.
Yeah. It's going to be a sad day, but I don't know. I want to go out there and I think somebody should go out there and snag the KOM right before it gets closed down for construction.
Or they take the
That's
KOM.
why it gets paved.
But I say they take the KOM once it's paved. Is there a way to retire a KOM?
Yeah, you just mark it as hazardous. It just doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
So there's like a stop sign or an intersection or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I always got a hazardous feature to
See,
it.
that's why we have Austin here.
Yeah.
He feels
I've never
this-
done it. I don't know about that.
Well, I understand, but you know all those things.
Speaking of which, you're in a Garmin.
I have Garmin, yeah.
So does your Garmin do alerts? Like mine, there's, I ride the same route a lot of times, but there's a couple places on there where it says pothole, and there's not a pothole anymore,
Yeah.
but it still pops up.
Yeah, I'd turn those off.
Oh,
So
you
if
did
I'm
turn
out of
those off?
town, riding a new trail or something, because it tells you when a switchback is coming or
Yeah.
a tight turn, I'll turn that on so it lets me know if I'm going fast. I got to squeeze on the brakes, but
Yeah.
that's coming. So it works good in that situation. I don't. It's just too much.
It's a lot,
Somebody
yeah.
will log a stick in the middle of the road or
Yeah.
something. I'm like, come on, guys.
Now I'll tell you, when we were doing, I guess it was Race Across Texas, I got an alert, and Caleb got an alert at the same time that there was animals. I forgot how they phrased it, but true to form, we went another 100 yards, and there was a dog that came running out, and so it actually gave us a heads up on that. I was like,
So
that's good.
that's a good feature for like a big group ride where there's guys up the road and they can let everybody know that it's
Yeah.
coming instead of text messaging. They just set up an alert on Garmin.
Yeah, I was impressed with that one, but the pothole one is kind of like, I don't know. It seems like once it gets logged, it's there forever. So I was just wondering if there's a way to, because I'll push because there's a check mark and an X, and I'm assuming that the X means no, it's not here, and I push it every time, and it still comes up. So
I turned that off probably the second ride.
Yeah.
I have that update.
yeah, it gets to be a lot.
So back to Chainring Massacre. What's the highest turnout you've had for that over the years?
I think it was 2020. I think we got to 700 that year.
Yeah, I remember it being huge. And you're about 3. I think I saw your message, 300 cap, maybe a few more.
Yeah, we got to 300 early enough that I actually made provisions that we could go to 400 if needed. If it gets to 300 the week before, I got time to make adjustments. If it gets to 300 the day before, I need to cap it there, sort of thing. So we got to 300 the weekend before, so I was going to be able to take it to 400, and that's usually about where we've been with it. Even going up to that, I think 17. That was the year Lance came.
Dash for cash.
And that was the first time we went over 400. But I had always kept it small. I didn't, the first time we did 200, I was nervous. Can we handle that? The first time we did 300, can we handle that?
So what's the difference from an organizational standpoint between 300 people and 400 people? Like, what kind of additional accommodations or equipment or anything do you need to make that happen?
But it becomes herding cats scenario at that point.
No, I get that point.
So when it's 200 people,
Mm-hmm.
Jan and myself can handle it.
Yeah.
Foster and myself can handle it.
Yeah.
If it gets to 300 people, I need to make sure that it's the three of us that are there at least.
Yeah.
And if we can get Luke or Sean or Jesse to give us a hand at check-in and stuff, fantastic. So that's good for 300 to 500 people.
Mm-hmm.
I still start getting nervous at 500 people again.
Yeah. There's also the water table situation.
And then there's the water. And man, that's.
I was just trying to think about the logistics. Like, what difference does it make? Not downplaying it, just out of curiosity.
It's more about the pre-event and post-event stuff, not the actual, except for the water table situation. Yeah. And man, that is such a crapshoot even now. Thankful to Usway or hate Usway. I can go either way with it because we have some events where nobody touches the water tables. And even when it's 100 degrees out, nobody touches it. Everybody's set to go with everything on their bike. And then we'll have others where everybody slams the water jugs. Yeah. And there's doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. It's almost, so we always over water anymore.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, over the years, our water jugs have disappeared one at a time. Well, almost every event, at least one gets stolen.
Did you ever hook up with Crazy Water Guy?
No, I did not. The way we've been doing things for the past couple of years, the way they do things and the way we do things, the intersection wasn't there. Mm-hmm. But now that we're doing scheduling in advance stuff, it might work out better. So thanks for the reminder.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll reach out to Crazy Water Guy again.
Yeah. Because he seems more than happy to come out and support some of our events.
Yep.
And he was just super nice guy.
And there wasn't anything negative. And I get it. For their logistics, they needed to have very specific, this date, this many people, exactly where are we going to be staging and things like that. And that's,
I mean, obviously it's not going to work on a pop-up ride, but
but now that I have everything scheduled from now to June for the big monthly events, hypothetically, we could do something like that.
The reason I asked about 300 to 400 is because in my brain, there's got to be a point where, and I'm just going to say random numbers, but like where you get to 50 people on an event and you're like, well, 50 people up to 75 is exactly the same thing, and I'm just wondering where those windows are.
300.
Yeah.
150 people or less, about the same cost to me.
No, I'm not talking about cost. I'm talking about logistics, support.
But that's where, and they both come into play because 150 to 300 is about the same cost to me. Mm-hmm. Once I cross that 300 threshold, my costs go up exponentially.
You have to have more. Do you get more porta potties and
basic? Yeah. Basic and technically speaking, porta johns are my biggest expense. Yeah. Porta johns and insurance, obviously.
Yeah.
But insurance is the same per head. The porta johns, they phase in. Oh, we got another 100 people. Here's another $500 worth of cost or whatever, sort of that.
I was just wondering because I feel like your business model and what I do is they have a lot of similarities as we've discussed before. And like
ad nauseum. But yes.
once I get to, 8 people, it's the prep is still the same. I just have to buy more groceries.
So, and that's a good example. So your 8 to 20 people
Yeah.
is basically my 150 to 300
Yeah.
people.
That makes sense.
And so if you were to get to 30 people, you could make it happen, but you would go to a whole nother
Your
level.
neighbor's oven.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. It's seating and plates would be my biggest crux.
Maybe you have to rent a tent, and maybe
Yeah.
you have to hire servers, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It takes
Yeah.
it to that next level.
Yeah.
And not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have a network of people I know I can depend on if I really need to, but I'm not the type of promoter that's always ringing the bells. Volunteers, we want all
Yeah.
I don't do that. And
Yeah.
I'm not knocking those that do. It's just I'm not comfortable doing that sort of thing.
And that makes me think, Watchdog Challenge folded up this last year, and it always amazed me how many volunteers they were able to recruit every year. I mean,
It's such a small town.
yeah, for a tiny little
There are
area.
guys, everybody, all the volunteers there, they don't care about cycling. They're just there to help out.
Mhm.
and
you
have
know?
and hang out and have a good time.
Yep.
It-
They have the radio club out there, or the transistor radio club.
Yeah.
they're always out there.
and the foot club, the Friends of Watchdog Trail. I mean, it's always amazing to me. And same thing with, I think BT Epic. I think a lot of those guys get paid, but they still have a lot of volunteers as well. It always amazes me how they can recruit so many volunteers, and like you said, in such a small area. So,
But back to Chainring Massacre, do you have any intent or desire to build that race back up, or you just want to keep that like all your other races, kind of grassroots style? Or
I definitely want to lean heavily into the grassroots. Like we're making a big deal this year that it's mass start for everybody. Well, I mean, all the same distance people. So there's no male female race. You can do drop bar, or you can do aero bars. Drafting's allowed. You can draft with anybody in there. We don't just go out there and ride your bike, sort of thing. And that's not diminishing the way I look at it. It's not diminishing the experience for the women racers, generally speaking, because particularly a smaller race like ours, all right, maybe you have 2 or 3 really strong women, but all the other women, they need people of comparable ability to ride with.
they're just be riding by themselves on the line?
Exactly. And I'm one of those. I mean, that's where gravel started, and that's one of the big shifts in gravel. I'm going to call it the pre-Lifetime era. I'm not blaming Lifetime on it. That's kind of where the delineation was, where prior to the big national events and the big national names coming into it, when gravel was grassroots, we were getting amazing female participation in these events. 40% of our field sometimes were female, which was just against the grain for everything cycling even then. And we've had a number of women that have been overall winners at our events.
Right. Yeah. Several times.
And so I always thought that was cool. Since that shift to the more national level events, the female participation, at least at the grassroots level, has been going down. And I think it's because, generally speaking, when we had 30% of the field women, they weren't racers. They were out there to ride their bikes and have fun. And I think the focus on women's racing has kind of skewed that's what is expected of women participants now. And not that I am against that. I love women racers, and I enjoy watching women's races oftentimes more than the men's races.
they're definitely prettier to look at.
Well, I don't know. Keegan ain't shabby. I mean, I could watch Austin all day long.
Well, I appreciate that. Just the reason I asked, I truly think that you could build Chainring Massacre up to a U.S. monument gravel race. And I think you know that, but you decided not, because you were on your way there 5 years ago.
We were there in 2020, and the 700 person event went well.
It was a different race though. Then it was 100K.
I mean, we went back and forth on some years it'd be 100K, some years it'd be 100 miles. We went back and forth which one was the premier race sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we always had two different distances. This 75-mile format for the past couple of years for us kind of seems to be the sweet spot. You know, the road racers that don't want to race for 100 miles, you know, that's too long for them to race.
What's your preference?
I think 80 to 100 is perfect for gravel.
Yeah.
It gives you 4 or 5 hours of racing, a good racing.
For a dedicated gravel race, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chainring Massacre was built to draw in the road racers to gravel racing. And it worked really well for that. And it used to be, all right, we have this 100K race, the roadies go race this, and we had the 100-mile race. This is the gravel racers race this. And then we had a beautiful time where there was this nice overlap of the road racers starting to edge up to the 100-mile gravel. That was, in my world, that was peak gravel.
Yeah.
Because I always get slammed for throwing it out there, but the uptight roadie race scene that people were abandoning, getting away from, those people that were still holding tight to that, they started racing gravel and they're like, this is fun. And some of them started going 100 miles. And now those are the lifetime athletes. That's what they evolved to. I mean, most of the lifetime athletes, if gravel wasn't around, they would be road racers.
Right. Or mountain bike racers.
Yeah.
Mostly road racers, because the mountain bike racing scene was, I mean,
It's still struggling big time.
Most of them are. There's not like Texas, there's only a handful of road races.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And when we always get blamed for gravel killing road racing, I don't think that's.
Well, that's one advantage that Chainring Massacre had. There's no other events going on in January. And I think that's why you drew people from Colorado. It's nicer in Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Arkansas. Everybody came to Chainring Massacre.
We've always had a good turnout from Kansas and Missouri.
Yeah, when it's cold, they're inside riding the trainer.
And that was the intent. And up until 2020, we were growing steadily. And after 2020, it was like, all right, the next day, it was like, all right, we'll figure out how to do 1,000 people next year. And that was the plan. But then everything went
February
sideways.
came around.
Yeah.
March.
Yeah, I literally caught COVID at the Chainring Massacre. Didn't realize it. But I mean, Jan and I were both just sick as could be for 12 weeks after the Chainring Massacre.
Was that that was like 140 miles that year, right?
We did our longest. Well, I think it was 125, 130, wasn't it?
It was long.
It was a long
over
one.
7 hours.
It was a long one.
I think that was
And
when Jack Mack and I rode together, and I crashed it on that. You had that right turn at the finish line, hard right, then a left to the finish.
right,
And I just overcooked it.
yeah, on Armstrong Road. Yeah, we started on Lee Avenue and then on Armstrong Road. So, and I don't want to sound like I'm not boo-hooing about it. It's just everything changed. That was the line when, the grassroots events like us and a bunch of others that were out there, and it could even be argued that, even stuff like Belgian Waffle Ride were still kind of grassroots comparatively at the time.
But they were drawing in a bunch of high-level riders with a grassroots race.
But that whole COVID shutdown thing, I mean, it just created this huge vacuum that Lifetime had the wherewithal just to step in and do what they did and take over the scene at that point. And I'm not saying they did it in a malicious. They were positioned to be able to take advantage of it.
Well,
and
it's
they
a
did.
corporation.
Exactly.
We're just trying to make money at this point.
They are beholden to their stockholders. There's no doubt about that.
Sounds like the government.
Private equity killed cycling.
That's
Just from my point of view, I see it coming back. I think more people are getting into serious riding or racing, performance stuff. But I've had more people contact me about coaching the past 2 months than I've ever had.
Yeah.
So, and these aren't high-level racers I'm talking to. They're people who you're talking about who are out there to have fun. They just want to, ride a 100-mile gravel race is the goal, or do a 100-mile mountain bike ride, something along those lines.
Yeah.
I think so too. And I think in a way, so the past couple of years have been, after the COVID boom of cycling and outdoor stuff, I mean, we did get a lot of new riders at that time.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Transient riders, though, they're in it.
the vast majority of them that didn't stick around.
Peloton picked up a lot of new customers too.
No, that's my
Look
point.
at them now.
But even though,
I mean, I'm just saying.
let's say we lost 90% of the new riders, that was still 10% of growth in riders. But they were coming from a very different. They didn't come from the established disciplines and the established racing scenes and seeing how different gravel was different. They started with Unbound. That's what it's. That's how it's supposed to be. That's the way it works.
Yeah, I'm watching the YouTube video.
Yeah.
Of
And
racing hard.
so that was like the expectation, for lack of a better term, the past few years, and a lot of these newer riders just couldn't wrap their head around the grassroots scene or what that really meant. And I think some of them are starting to go, oh, this does fit better for me. I don't need to plan a trip once a year to travel 500 miles away for my big bucket list event.
Just a flat 20 miles on.
Exactly. There's
Because they rode super light tires.
and you get there and you don't know what you're doing yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think the grassroots awareness is starting to become a thing again, and I'm happy to stay in that environment. But the idea is for Chainring Massacre to be our one big race each year. The others, hey, if they
Well, Red River Riot, that has its place too as a late season race or a train race into an Unbound or something like whatever race, big race.
agreed, but I treat Chainring Massacre as our premier race. Now, the biggest change now for us, though, and this is where we kind of stood out from at the beginning with it, was even when we did our first one in 2010, we had a big cash payout.
Yeah.
And that used to be
Was that the initiating, the brandish and folly big scrap throwdown finish? Was that year?
I think Powers won it, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Powers won it. Brian missed a turn. And that was before I had learned how to properly mark a course. I think I'm pretty good at it now. I think I'm pretty good.
We saw a spinach area on Monday.
we saw a couple.
They're out there.
Yeah.
I
I was like, stop the car so I can get it, so I can get a free beer.
Snag a beer. And up until last year, I mean, we were still, we're trying to make that, no, I can't compete with Lifetime for prize purses or anything.
Nor do you want to.
And nor do I want to.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, we'll be the grassroots race. It still has a big payout. So we tried the privateer concept last year, and it just didn't work. It didn't click. But then Gravel Worlds comes out with their $100,000 purse, and Valley of Tears with their tens of. It's like there's no point in me even putting the cash purse out there now. It's better just to stay super grassroots, and people that want to slug it out grassroots and get a loaf of sourdough bread as a trophy, fantastic. Come join us, sort of thing. Because what's $1,000 payout these days compared to what those guys are throwing up there? That doesn't catch anyone's attention.
I've seen people do a lot of crazy things for $1,000 in a race, and that's the things that you don't want to see as a promoter.
Well, and there's that. Well, no, there's, and that was.
It gets a little competitive at the pointy end whenever there's money on the line.
No, I agree, and that was where the Chainring Massacre did kind of.
You think the tactics change and just
Well, think about 2016. Panaracer brought their whole squad out. How many guys on Panaracer were out there racing? 16, 17? The Chainring Massacre trying to get Matt Stevens up the road with Lance Armstrong.
yeah.
I mean, it's road racing,
Yeah.
just on gravel road.
So, but if there's zero money on the line, you think that, your attendance is going to change. The caliber of attendance is going to change.
maybe the pointy end of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
But that's what I'm getting at, though, is that the tactics and just the camaraderie, if you will, is it just feel different because there's more at stake?
yeah. So from my point of view, the racing is over in 60 miles. There's a group of 4 or 5 of us.
Yeah.
Like the year we did 130 miles or whatever, we're done racing 70 miles. Everybody just said he could win, basically.
Yeah.
They just gave it to me. It's just, let me put on for time by pen.
Yeah.
But then we rode another 70 or 80 miles together.
Yeah.
And there wasn't money. There's $500 or something. I think.
There was money then. There was money then.
But you're saying it would have been a lot more cutthroat if there would have been like call it $3,000 on the line.
I think so. Yeah, I think there would be 4 or 5 more guys that came out from Oklahoma City or Missouri or Colorado Springs or something, and push the pace.
Maybe didn't happen last year. Well, a little bit it happened last year. The crappy weather on Sunday didn't
last
help.
year's weather wasn't awesome. That was the windiest TCM I've done that I can remember. But it wasn't too cold.
Saturday it was. Sunday it was.
Yeah,
Sunday it was.
I chickened out on Sunday and it didn't come out.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, man, I can't even remember. I don't think we got to 20. I know we had at least $10,000 guaranteed payout last year.
Speaking of past events, do you have any aspirations of doing, like, remember when you did Monster Cross?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like with the evolution of the drop bar mountain bike whole thing, and people adapting wider tires on gravel bikes and narrower tires on mountain bikes and stuff. Do you have any aspirations to doing something like that again? Or we had discussed doing like a rule of 3
Right.
type.
Well, and we played with all or nothing. A couple. I still like the concept, finding the right way to do it in our structure. That's
Dallas DFW is not great for that type of race.
and that's the thing. Every time I start to, it's just like riding around here is getting worse by the day, literally. And
like if Bar H was still a thing, it would be ideal.
We're still in this phase where people don't want to travel more than an hour to go ride their bike. Generally speaking, there's still a lot of that.
Yeah, you're talking about people coming from Kansas and Oklahoma City.
Well, but see that, but that was the difference when there wasn't a different gravel event every week, or 3 of them to choose from within a stone's throw from your house.
Yeah,
people would pack up to travel
in January
to ride their bike because they weren't going to get another opportunity in January. Right? So that was a different scene. We still get people traveling for it, but nothing like we did before. I would love for it to be the default preseason race or whatever for people.
Just a Kickstarter for the season for people. Yeah.
And that was kind of our persona for a little while until it wasn't. Yeah. And that would be my goal over the next few years, is to try to get it kind of to be that thing again. And that's what I'm talking about. Chainring Massacre being our main race. And that's where its identity is. Red River Riot is always a good get together. I'm not diminishing that, but the actual race, Chainring Massacre has always been our race. Red River Riot is a really cool non-competitive ride that has a racing field in it, but Chainring Massacre is focused on the racers. Red River Riot's focused on the non-competitive, if that makes sense. With not trying to diminish the Red River Riot race itself, but in general, if you put together a good course with a good venue, if the racers are going to race amongst themselves regardless, sort of thing is kind of the way I look at it. But maybe I'm wrong because I'm not a racer.
Nico, that thing has holes in it so you can bolt it to the table.
That's one of the tasks this week. Well, to be honest, I didn't like this vice. I didn't bolt it because my friend gave I have a vice for you. And I had a super nice one sit in my car, and I returned it to Home Depot because he said it was nice. It was joking. So I was like, I'm going to go back and get the other one.
Well, I was only offering advice.
He's not going to. He's not.
I thought it was
I see what you did there.
It's like extreme vice using when you have to move it and wrench it, right?
It's like wrenching yoga.
Exactly.
Now, that said, we need to talk to this gentleman here and nail down our concept that we started working on the other day.
I didn't know if you want to talk about that.
I do want to talk about that.
I want to hear a secret.
I need his feedback.
I want to hear. So we were spitballing in the wake of the whole drop bar ban at Leadville. Kevin started the conversation by saying we need to make a mandatory drop bar mountain bike race locally, and just and then we started out by defining what makes a drop. What
qualifies as a drop bar
mountain bike?
So first, let's start there. What would you say is a requirement to call something a drop bar mountain bike?
Hardtail mountain bike frame.
The frame itself is important, not just tire clearance.
No, I'd say the frame is monumental in importance. I'd
And
say
hardtail only?
No.
Okay.
That's a good point. No, it could be full suspension.
Okay.
But I was really.
But
thinking
mountain
it's a
bike
gravel-
frame requirement.
Yeah, mountain bike frame requirement. And I would say even if you had 45 mil tires, it's still a drop bar mountain bike.
Okay, we were going to do a 50 limit
Of minimum.
minimum.
Yeah, I don't think tire size should be the limit. I think the frame should be the limit because any modern frame is going to be 1x, other than gravel, which you'll have 2x options. But
Yeah.
so for a mountain bike, it's 1x, and I don't think the suspension really matters. You got a lot of yoo-hoos riding single speed full rigid racing, so I think you could do full rigid on a drop bar mountain bike and still be a drop bar mountain bike.
Okay.
Yeah. My Fargo's a full rigid
and that's a drop
bar mountain bike.
If
So I think
drop bars are important too.
yeah.
Drop bars are important, and and that was one of the things Brad and I discussed.
But there is a fine line there, that salsa warbird style, because that's a drop bar mountain bike, I call it, but it's more of a gravel package,
I
right?
think it's an enduro gravel bike, basically. I think that's what they call it. Or endurance gravel
But
bike.
if you compare the geometry with the head tube angle and seat tube angle to the modern hardtail frame, they're going to match up pretty closely.
I think one of the parameters we laid out was capability of 2.0 tires.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not necessarily, you don't have to run 2.0 tires, but you need to be able to run 2.0 tires.
Yeah, I like that.
Because otherwise it falls into that warbird category where it's technically the geometry is a mountain bike. It doesn't matter how the manufacturer classifies it, but if you can't run 2.0 tires, I don't think it's a mountain bike. But then you have to have drop bars and you have to have drop bar shifters, brakes. You can't run. We don't want the reason I say this is not that most people are going to do it, but you don't want to have somebody running drop bar style brakes or pod shifters, because what my thought process was, I don't want someone to ride their flat bar bike and then throw on drop bars without fully committing and just slapping drop bars on or flat bar components on the flat part of their bar and trying to hobble
Get
them
by.
together,
Yeah, that's an expensive proposition doing a drop bar conversion to a mountain bike with the modern hydraulic hoses and brakes.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but I mean,
in our format,
you're not the only person out there that's done it, though, right?
No, it wasn't the first either.
yeah. And then we came up with a format, but we started talking about, do we want to do like an endurance, like
Do we want to do a 4 to 6 hour race, or do we want to do a more traditional XC sprint race?
where it's like 3 laps or something. And then we started talking about venue. I think Knob Hills is the perfect venue for that. Just because that's one of my favorite trails to underbike,
Yeah.
And then we decided, and it's still tentative, that's why we're asking about your feedback, to do a time trial. So it's 1 lap, hard as you can, fastest time wins, obviously, standard time trial format. But then we were talking about, well, how do we qualify, pole position and whatever. And I said, well, it makes sense. Most of the people that are going to be true contenders are going to pre-ride the course, and they use some sort of recording device, format, Strava or Driver GPS or whatever else there is. And so they just submit their time. Hey, I did a 53-minute lap. Well, that slots your start. That way you're not, and it behooves you to not sandbag, because if you want to start first and not deal with any traffic, then you're going to want to throw down and put down a solid time, I think that kind of covers a lot.
So you're thinking a time trial on a mountain bike trail on a drop bar mountain bike, it's gist of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have preliminaries where you go up Strava times.
Yeah.
Why not just do gravel bikes? Why? Because you're kind of limiting the field there, and not everybody has a drop bar.
Well, you're the one. You're the one that said it had to be a mountain bike frame.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you said drop bar mountain bike. But if it's gravel bikes, then you open it up.
But it's not gravel bike. That's what we're saying.
That's where I was saying 2-inch tire minimum.
Yeah. This is a direct response.
Oh,
I
you're
like the
to what-
tire minimum.
to what Lifetime is doing. We're just saying, screw them. We're going to embrace it.
well, yeah,
That's the-
but that's an eye for
contradictory.
an eye. Like you're still being the man enforcing rules. Why not just do any bike on the time trial? Only drop bars, no tire.
I say a tire restriction, but that's just because I like bigger rubber.
The only reason
Well,
I was
it's gonna
doing,
be faster on Hub Hill for sure.
the only reason I was doing a tire restriction is to prevent people from running a gravel bike, which I guess would honestly be a detriment in
And
sections.
gravel bikes are banned from Lifetime now, apparently, right? Under the new rule.
Good point. He brings up a good point. So drop bar is the only requirement. I mean, what the hell? Somebody wants to ride 28s? Let them ride 28s.
They will not be the fastest.
I understand. Oh, but you have to qualify on your race setup.
Ooh, that makes it a little difficult.
How do we verify that?
Either way, no matter the equipment, you'd have a hard time with verification on the race setup. That's got to be
Yeah.
by
I
word.
understand. I'm sure there will be fudging of some sort.
If you're not cheating, you ain't trying. That's what I've heard before.
Yeah.
Well,
Booker.
What do you a name and a verb? What do you think of the time trial format? Is that too non-racy for you?
No, I loved it when you did the River Lake Sea Time trials back in the day. I don't remember the year. Was that 18, 19?
Oh my God, I even forgot about those.
Yeah, I love doing those. I would go out there every other week and ride them.
Okay.
Well, there's been the Trinity. Who was putting the Trinity Trail Gateway?
Fort Worth Mountain Bike Association was there, man.
Yeah, that was a
That's-
time
that was
trial
fun as well.
switch too.
Oh,
Yeah.
from Martin House?
Yeah.
That's a fun one. We're gonna try to get on that more next year. Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, you've got good experience with the time trial situation.
I think
That
that'd be
was
fun.
right whenever you got your timing system, and I think you were just using that as a practice.
Yeah.
Sounds right. Sounds right.
The only problem is we have to figure out a non-peak time for Knob Hills because we can't close the
No,
trail.
I mean but I mean we're gonna have what 20 or 30.
I know.
people at
I'm
the
just.
most.
Well, I'm just
So-
thinking about.
We just want to minimize overlap with traffic amongst those 20 or 30.
But I'm also thinking about. I'm the guy that went out, practiced, turned in a hot lap, so I can get pole position.
Mm-hmm.
I get to start first, hopefully unobstructed, and I run into a family of hikers, and then a family of bikers with a Strider bike, and I'm trying to just absolutely slay.
Everybody else will run into them too.
Yeah,
If you're
I know.
third or fourth, they're trained to move out of the way by then.
Yeah,
I go back to the early morning. Yes, there might be more mountain bikers there, but generally speaking, the walkers and the hikers and the dog walkers, particularly, they're not there at 7:00 in the morning. They start rolling in 9:30.
I wouldn't know. I've never been there at 7 in the morning.
Mountain bikers in there are southern.
I didn't think they were. That's why I'm saying June Saturday or Sunday at 7:00 in the morning.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking. Austin's up at that time of the morning.
I am. I'll be there.
Austin's already had a nap by that time. I think it's a fun little concept. I think it could be a lot of fun.
Okay, so you're on board with the time trial format.
I am.
That was the main thing I was concerned about.
Yeah, I think just leaving it drop bar bikes.
And
Yeah,
drop bar.
mandatory drop bar.
drop bar
I got you.
No qualification on tire size, no qualification on frame.
Yeah.
Do we take racer advice on that?
I totally agree. It created another thought process that I hadn't previously entertained. Is the fact that a gravel setup, which is still a drop bar mountain bike, is going to be beneficial in the flats and the straightaways. But when you get to some of those tech sections, you're gonna get
Amber stuff is real hard with a narrow tire.
you're gonna get paid back. It's gonna be self-leveling.
Anybody wondering, you're going to want the 2-inch tire. You really are.
Yeah, or I think you could.
You could get by on 45s if you're
45s,
skilled.
yeah.
If you're skilled.
Yeah. Or 50. 50's what? 1.8, isn't it? Ish?
Ish.
Yeah.
It's that old 1.9.
It's
1.85
manufacturer
one,
dependent. Yeah. But I think you could put down a solid time on a 50. But I think 2.0, 2.2 is probably the sweet spot, depending on course conditions too. Because sometimes that place is super sandy, sometimes it's hard packed blue groove.
There's always
ripping.
going to be loose chunk on it, and there's always going to be roots.
I mean, if it's potholed that dry,
Oh yeah.
I think
If the hogs ran through.
yeah, I don't think
rough.
you want to be on a 45. I think then 2.2 is definitely the move. So it's very course
So
dependent.
what we do is we have them come by Dusty Roads to check in their bike, put a seal on it, do your
Verify.
qualifying time. No.
Yeah.
Get the weight, make sure it's not underweight. UCI sticker on the down tubes.
I mean, do we mess with the qualifying aspect of it, or is it just a random you draw from a hat and you start where you start?
Yeah, I say qualifying. It doesn't have to be on that bike though. Just what they've done on the course before, and it doesn't even have to be recent. I don't know. I mean,
Maybe.
it's more general, but it's still.
I guess it doesn't matter.
It makes it more. I like what you're doing. You're kind of stripping away barriers to keep more people from showing up.
which is why
exactly. More.
that's why we're bouncing it off of them.
Yeah, I like it. I think maybe if we called it June, then we just clip it to this year qualifying. Like it had to be, your lap had to be recorded
Well, we
in
have
2026.
we have to define the lap too. So
Yeah, I think it's a full lap. That's in my thought.
probably.
Yeah,
But-
because it's only 14 miles for a full lap. Huh?
13?
13?
No, go. Yeah.
Are you properly calibrated?
6.5 each way. I think it's right under 13. It's like you feel it's like 12.8 or something.
Yeah.
So roughly an hour.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, it's an
fast.
hour. Like you guys are doing an hour. My fastest is like an hour and 12, like hammering it. So you could probably get an hour.
Between an hour and an hour and a half or so.
Yeah.
So how about you, Austin? Are you properly calibrated?
No, I don't know the distance of any of the trails. I just ride them.
He just knows how long it takes him to do it.
I just-
I know how long. It
I
takes.
remember
Exactly.
when we were doing our mountain bike races every month, and it was always just this huge debate.
Yeah,
when
mountain
we-
bikers freak out over a tenth of a mile.
It's
crazy.
not. It's absolutely.
How'd you ride further than me? We did the same.
Yeah. I think of Adam Phillips when I.
He mentioned that with Red on his ride a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Up north.
Yeah.
Red got like two more miles on him or something.
All right, so we're gonna have Austin pick our date for us. So when you look at your calendar and figure out what your schedule is, you get back to us and let us know what date we're gonna do it super casual. It's gonna be like a Club Spin History members only ride, so we don't need all the permits and stuff like that. And but we'll have an arrangement for people that want to do a trial membership or something like that may be from outside the area. It's not a money maker. So let's just do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Let's just do it.
That's fun.
Is there any other race formats that you would like to see happen as a, truly competitive person? Like, is there a format that you miss or that you wish would have happened more? Or
Well, what we talked about earlier, which is not really conducive to the area of the FW, is the multi-surfaces stuff.
Yeah.
Like that All or Nothing was fun,
yeah,
but it's just so hard with the traffic around. Like the road was just terrible.
Yeah.
Riding the roads on a mountain bike, you're going so slow, and
yeah.
Right.
cars are zooming by. It's a little better on the road because you're going quicker. You kind of, the way I think of it, if I'm doing 20 miles an hour, I'm going to see 20 cars an hour.
Yeah,
But if I'm doing 10 miles an hour, I'm going to see 20 cars an hour, but it's going to be 2 hours. So
Yeah.
40 cars. You're going to see twice as many cars when you're going that slow.
yeah. I think but if we could do something like excruciation exam, you remember?
Yeah.
Or
There was one back in the day where you'd ride dyno to Slavica, then Molly, one of Polly's
Mhm.
races.
Yeah.
Fossil 50.
Yeah.
yeah,
And that was a great race too.
I'd love to see something like that come back where you're not on the road, you're on gravel roads and stuff, and connect maybe
Yeah, like the
two trails.
Ray Roberts and Sister Grove, that's kind of on the verge there because it's kind of a big trek around the lake, but I think that's doable because there's good gravel over there too.
Yeah,
I mean, we could do IDB Denton Mountain Bike Trail and Hocamp Land.
yeah, that'd be fun.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, there's a nice section of going to Denton now from IDB.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, I rode that not too long ago.
Where's
I
that?
don't know the roads there, but it's on one of the main roads.
So when you get off of, you're talking about at the 380 entrance, right?
Yeah, the
the
south entrance,
the
yeah.
380,
Yeah.
which is never open. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know how it is now. I've seen it both ways. I've seen it.
Yeah,
immaculate, and then I've seen it a swamp.
the bike path at the 380 entrance, exit, whatever you want, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
You just can't get there.
yeah, yeah. Because we rode up there. It was last year, but maybe October-ish or September, and I was astounded how easy it was to get there now comparatively. Because it used to be taking your life in your own hands.
Right.
The 380
Oh, I
section.
mean, I would never even considered it.
And now it's casual. You could walk there. And
Yeah.
not,
As long as you don't get a flat, because I'll get the last.
yeah, that's true.
That would be a fun one, yeah.
All right. So a multi-surface something if we could figure out a practical way
Yeah,
to pull it
I
off.
love that style of racing, but it is hard to do around here. So I
Me
understand why
too.
it's not popular.
I mean,
Like the Judgment
I mean,
Day
you can-
thing was cool.
I mean, you can, well, going back to the Monster Cross format, now that all that goes through or is about to, River Legacy, Gateway, Sansom,
Oh, that's a good route. Yeah. Yeah, and that's pretty much all off the
you can
road.
throw in just enough stockyards, urban stuff to make it interesting, but still stay off of the busy crap.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good thought there, Kevin. That River Legacy, Gateway, Sansom.
Well, actually, it was
It's-
Brad. He's
maybe-
the one that said Monster Cross,
Yeah,
and that was
maybe
kind of
doing it the
our.
other way around, because Sansom's a beatdown, and that'd be even worse.
I was just, yeah, I was just putting the pieces together, not specific running order. So,
Yeah, I
but
like that.
but those three, right? River Legacy, Gateway, Sansom. That's a nice mix.
And that path between River Legacy to the Trinity is 100 now,
Is it all the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
all the way.
I've been meaning to go. I need to get on my bike. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah, that's great.
I've been wanting to check that out.
Today's
Anything
going to be
you have to get on
gorgeous.
the road at all. You just have to jump over the road one spot.
Uh,
Or you go by the concrete plant there. That's kind of the road.
kind of, sort of. So what would the mileage work out on that? That would be what, 40 probably 40 miles of trail and road. And then what's River Legacy? 7-8 miles these days. Gateway west only or east and west at Gateway?
Say all of it. Yeah.
All of it? Okay.
If it's too long, maybe cut that lone wolf section. That's pretty hard.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, and both sides of Gateway, all of River Legacy.
All of River Legacy.
Yeah, Gateway's like 8 or 9, I think. And River Legacy's like 11.
Yeah.
All right. So start at Sansom. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think doing Sansom first. Either that or starting.
Do
yeah, I
do
think-
a
I think starting on the west at Sansom.
do a mini
And there's-
Sansom loop start.
There's a big a payment from Trinity Trail to Sansom.
Well, there's different ways you can do it.
Oh yeah. So it's not bad though. If you hop in on the full south.
If you do that, if you do those collegiate roads and pick up over by the camp, whatever YMCA camp that is over there,
there's like Burgers Lake or something.
yeah, all
Yeah.
that stuff over there. But maybe like a mini loop at Sansom, still throw in some of the hard stuff or challenging. Do the other stuff, come back to Sansom and do one more mini loop there, sort of something like that.
Yeah, I like that. That would be a hit. So you think start and finish at Sansom?
Well, that's what you said.
Yeah. I don't see another way to do it unless you start at Gateway, went one way, then all the way back. That's the same either way. It's just
Yeah.
more centralized. That way, people who don't want to finish could cut the
We
corner
just
at
we make
Gateway.
sure we just make sure we're out by the train stations here. And there.
Yeah, route through downtown Fort Worth train station.
Well, Austin's loading down our schedule now.
I think that'd be a fun format.
I agree.
And I think the reason I like that is because you get to, bike selection it becomes a big, consideration, but it also attracts multiple different disciplines,
Man, and it's truly one. What is the right bike for that?
Yeah, it really does go both ways. Because like initially, I would think I want to ride my mountain bike because I'm thinking about Sansom and how bad that would be on the drop bar bike. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's some steep stuff
And
going down and up,
Yeah.
and it's rough.
And we can definitely route sections of the Trinity Trails that forces you onto where you have to. There is no paved alternate. You have to do the gravel through.
Yeah.
Some pretty good stretches.
Yeah, and then I remember like I could ride all of the gravel on my road bike, so I know it's going to be faster on a gravel bike. That's kind of in the middle. I think a road bike would be the fastest, obviously, but I can't do the trail on a road bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think maybe like a gravel bike with big tires would probably be ideal. Then you still get aerodynamic benefit from tuck position.
Well, if you're making it that cut and dry, we have to throw a lone wolf in.
I'll do lone wolf. Everyone else could do it too.
You got to make people question their bike selection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
that's one-
core to it.
That's the one thing people have control over. That's why it's so obsessive.
Yeah.
Because you can control what tires you run, you control where you chain ring. You can't really control your fitness. Like most
Yeah.
people, it's a shit show on fitness. Like they think they're running good
Yeah.
because they're comparing them to their friends on the group ride, but maybe their friend's not really riding good.
Yeah.
That's why they're riding good.
Yeah.
So they don't really know, but they know what tires are running.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Rudolph's Revenge. You know, I kept telling Sean, I said, hey, you've got to put the horse trail part in it. The first couple of years, I was like, that is what's going to level the playing field and make bike selection a lot more challenging, you know? I said, because right now, or as it stood, it was just basically a fast gravel ride with, you know, some pavement, and then you're on to single track. I said, so all the roadie fitness guys that don't have any handling skills are going to get to the single track first, and then they're going to muddy the waters because they're going to be bobbling in the rock sections, and you're going to have the mountain bikers that have handling skills catch up to them. I said, but if you put that big sandy technical stretch that's just going to redline everybody before they get to single track, I said, it's going to level the playing field so much better. And when they did that, I was like, that's the true nature of that course. But I think, I mean, I know there's people that hate it, and those are the people that I think needed it the most.
Yeah,
so,
agreed. I
they're
agree.
the ones you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I mean,
And reality,
Whenever-
that trail's so hard. Like, they're going to be walking that first red section anyway. So
Yeah.
why not just get them out of the way?
Yeah.
whenever I've had people beat me up for throwing a certain section in a course or making it too hard, or why'd you trick it up like that? It's like, well, it's either for you because you need to work on that, or you shouldn't have been here to begin
I
with.
don't know, Kevin. That one thing comes to mind. There's one Chainring Massacre maybe 2 years ago when we had a little bit of rain before, and that road was just straight peanut butter. You could have rerouted that. Come on. There's
yeah.
no reason to have that in there.
Well, I'll explain why it was there.
Okay.
6 o'clock the night before was perfectly fine.
I remember this. Yeah.
Rain did come through, but everywhere else we checked, it was okay. When I looked at the historical radar on it, that one patch got just this huge right over that corner. And it was one of those that if I had been confident that the whole area had gotten that much rain, yes, I would have known to close and reroute around that
there's
road.
just one section of road.
But I didn't-
maybe 2 miles long.
I didn't have time that morning to go verify it ahead of time. And I told people, it's like, it might be this one section might be iffy, but it was okay last night.
Yeah.
If you opt to reroute, that's fine. But I just, there was no way to know. I don't disagree with you, probably in hindsight.
So that wasn't in the situation we're talking about,
No,
where it's just practice.
I was
Practice
not.
riding in the mud.
No, I have never intentionally forced anyone into a mud bog
Yeah,
road.
I remember seeing like a big lifted truck just stuck in the middle of this road.
Yeah.
That's how slippery it was.
We had one in Paris one year too, where a big storm came through in the middle of the route or in the middle of the event, and the faster people beat that storm,
Yeah.
but the slower people didn't. And there was this one road that it was a soft road, and it literally got 6 inches of rain in like an hour.
That happened to me my first year at Kansa. It was
You were there for the muddy.
Yeah, there was a huge storm that came through, and the faster guys were already past the B road section. And we got there. I mean, I had to walk. It was like mile 125 or 130 ish, and we had to walk like 4 or 5 miles, and it was shin deep mud.
Yeah.
And
I will reroute ahead of time if the rain happened before. If it happens the day of the event, I don't have a whole lot of control.
yeah,
And the people say, "Oh, you never should have routed on that road to begin with." No, those are the most interesting roads.
That road's great every other year I've
Yeah,
driven her.
yeah.
It's just this year. Then that's why it's great, because it's not driven much. And then when it's not driven, there's a bunch of grass and
Well,
mud
it's
in
like the
middle.
double track that we scouted the other day.
I love that shit.
You know, it's like
Love it.
if you want the double track, sometimes it's going to bite you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a great road because there's always a south wind, and it's a east to west road, so it always breaks up right there. There's only 2 lines you could ride on, so
Yeah.
there's no good draft on the side one.
Yeah, and you
Cross
can't
one.
gutter anybody.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But this one time, it got a little bit of rain or a lot of rain, and it was bad.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about earlier, it was 100-something mile race. The race was over, and I was by myself at that point. But I still think there's somebody chasing me. So off on my bike running with it. My arrow shoes or my arrow booties are coming up. I can find a stick at the end of the
No,
road
I'm-
and scrape everything up.
I'm not claiming to be perfect. I didn't want to put it out there that way. Yes, I've I've had foibles along the way here and there, but
So your goal is not to punch people.
No. Don't misunderstand
don't
what he's saying.
misunderstand that.
That's only part of the goal.
I remember back in the day, any time you saw a hill on the horizon, you knew you were going up it.
That still pretty much holds true. And if there's double track anywhere along the way, I'm going to catch it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's another trend that I want to touch on real quick is the promoters glutton for punishment or trying to punish the riders because challenge is fun. You know, everybody loves to get challenged, but there's a lot of new riders who don't want to challenge. Like, why does Hotter and Hell get 10,000 people out there running? Because it's an easy course.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
And there's a lot of support. So they know they could finish it because if they ride 8 more miles, they'll run into an ice bin with Gatorade.
Well, and that's what I was talking about when we were scouting the other day. And you look down that one road. So, we need to go down that.
Yeah, I want to see that road.
It's like that's the one that I used to send people down, but it would always be the short course riders, which are the least experienced, generally speaking, and
least tolerant.
And sending them down that road, they were not happy, sort of thing. But people like Brad that want to get their adventure on, makes their pants wiggle a little bit.
Yeah, but I think the tactics to get these short course riders up to a higher course, you know, it's hard to convince somebody that can ride 35 miles to go up to 100 miles, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You need some motivation, and that's an easy course. And that's having 8 stations a little closer together, just in case.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure. No,
so the water and the food is not enough.
I don't disagree. And
But they can get that easier course up Hotter than Hell. It doesn't have to be a history event.
Well, yeah. No.
You know?
Well, we're talking grassroots here, aren't we?
Yeah.
You want to cater to everybody.
Yeah.
You want to bring people up.
You want to give options
But it
to
doesn't
everybody.
have to be every event.
Well,
know?
but then there's also too many options. Like there's a 35, a 45, 55, 65.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to get these people out of their comfort zones.
And that's kind of like I was talking, that 75 to 80 mile. That's kind of our standard for the long
And
run.
not to mention, like the 120 plus stuff is really hard to train for. You really have to devote some time into practice on that.
Yeah.
To your physical abilities.
That makes me wonder though too, is if you just whatever event, if you just put together a relatively flat and smooth, say 50-mile course, and you touted it, you advertised it, like this will be the easiest, I don't know if you call it the easiest, but just for lack of a better description, the easiest 50-mile course that you'll do this year. I bet you would garner a lot more attention and attendance.
But see, that's also going to bite you, from my perspective, in my personal experience, it's also going to bite you in the ass. So, because what you and I think is easy, somebody that's new,
It's all relative.
it's all relative.
Yeah,
And if they haven't really even ridden gravel before, and you're telling them this is the easiest gravel, and well, I mean, I've run into it in Munster at the 4R ride, not talking about Windmill Hill, talking about the shorter routes that just stay on that upper part and just what we consider the flat stuff. It's still got
it's hard riding.
It's still got swales in it, and I've had newer riders that just lit me up because I said this was the beginner route. It's like
beginner route, but don't show up on your road bike.
Yeah. Speaking of subjective, though, would you rather a course like call it 50 miles? Would you rather it be dead flat or be hilly? Like
As far as winning a
rollers,
race,
how
I'd
about
rather
rollers?
rollers for sure. If I'm trying to win a race,
Yeah.
it's really hard to win a race on a flat race unless you're really good at sprinting. It's going to come down to a sprint.
it's just power at that point. It's not skill or technique.
Yeah. And plus, with a flat course,
Not
it's
much
hard to get
strategy
somebody
either.
out of sight.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
you
that's
could see for 5 miles.
No, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
And that's what's good about riding up in Gainesville and Valley Views. There's so many right-hand turns. It's kind of hard to, like, you could see maybe a minute or two up the road, but then it turns away. So you kind of lose track.
Yeah.
I've won a couple of races just because of that, just because they can't see me anymore.
Breaking line of sight.
Yeah, just give up. Like, it's the point of chasing.
Yeah.
So
Keep going. Can't see them.
so many second groups, 8 guys, 10 guys.
Yeah, seconds back.
Yeah.
Seconds back, and there's 2 off in front. It's like, They're only a minute up. Dude, you guys can make up a minute.
Yeah.
Work together.
Nobody wants to burn that match, though.
Yeah, just because you don't have a radio in your ear doesn't mean you can't work together and get up there.
Yeah, that's racing.
That is a
It is
sick
right.
rig, Nick. Tail whip, bro.
It's kind of cool. We thought it was kind of funny. Yeah, we'll get to ride it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a demo bike too? Are those semi-pneumatic tires?
Oh, yeah, there's no air.
Yeah.
This is a gravel tire, right?
There you go.
shit.
There you go.
Puncher proof.
Yeah, everything needs that on there.
Well, we got to get Austin's opinion on the big topic, right?
Yeah.
Or do you need a break first?
No break needed. I go all day.
32 inch. What is your level of interest, your opinions, your whatever?
I'd like to try it. I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be market driven, right? That bike companies need something to sell.
Sure. That's,
But yeah, I'd definitely try it.
yeah.
I mean, instinctively, do you think there's a major advantage to it or a major shortcoming to it, or you just no way to know until it's out there?
Yeah, I don't think major either way. I think it's going to be the same progression as 26 to 29. You're going to roll over things a little smoother. You're going to corner a little slower. And you're going to accelerate a little slower. But
Like, do you think you corner slower on a 29er versus a 26er?
yeah,
Oh, you definitely do.
for sure. That's why mullet's so popular on downhill. You kind of get best of both worlds. You could roll over roots on the
Ooh.
front a little better, but whip
Yeah.
around corners a little quicker on the rear.
Hmm.
Just a shorter wheelbase.
Yeah, you're going to have a bigger arc on 32s. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Much longer wheelbase.
I see that.
Oh,
The
yeah.
wheelbase standpoint,
And
yeah.
because the stays are going to have to be longer.
I've always seen myself having an advantage on the trail just because I ride small bikes.
Yeah.
I'm on a much smaller wheelbase than most other bikes,
Yeah.
so I can get around corners a little quicker, being a little tighter in the trail.
And you're lower to the ground too. A little bit lower center of gravity. and some
BB drops. Now that's one
commensurate.
thing. Yeah, they're pretty similar across sizes. They shouldn't be,
Yeah.
but they are,
Yeah.
and that's the bike company just
Being
making us-
lazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or not. Maybe not. Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, you're developing 5 or 6 sizes of one bike. Hey,
Yeah.
one less thing to worry about if you have the same BB drop across the board.
Kevin and I had some. I mean, we've had many discussions about this so far, but I think we've both kind of agreed that mountain biking, it may be slightly advantageous, but when you talk about like even North Shore, you break it down like east side, maybe slight advantage. West side, probably not an advantage.
On 32?
Yeah.
I think so. I think more so on west side than east side,
Just from the rollover?
just from being able to roll over stuff.
But I see it more of an advantage in the gravel realm. Like basically, once you get those wheels spun up, they're going to want to keep spinning. You know.
And also, I think more. It's going to be a bigger contact pass for the
Mhm.
tire, so you're going to have better traction.
Better traction on the
But
climb.
also a little bit more drag.
more drag for sure.
But you've got more centrifugal.
But you get more traction if it's sandy. Like if you're riding on the beach or something, you're going to be able to spin through that.
Yeah. I think there's definitely pros and cons.
It'll be
obviously.
interesting.
And I think we're at a point in technology where we're not going to have the long extended learning curves that we did when 26 to 29er transition
yeah.
happened.
Yeah,
Because they were so
composites are
funny.
so good now. Like a
Yeah.
32-inch wheel is going to be the same weight as a second or third gen 29-inch wheel,
Yeah.
if not lighter.
Well, I'm talking about just from the figuring out the geometry aspect, because that was the real detriment to the 29er in the beginning is the geometry was so off.
Well,
Like people were trying to figure it
that goes
out.
across the board for mountain bikes, though.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, how long did it take him to
Yeah.
get modern mountain
Yeah.
bike
Gary
geometry
Fisher
in general?
spent forever getting the 26er right.
Yeah.
Or I think he was one of the first of the 29ers as well.
Yeah.
But go to on that topic, like the composites are so good, rapid prototyping so good. You could build a bike in a day now.
Yeah.
Where before it would take weeks.
Yeah.
So you could
That's true.
have a new bike board and test ride 200 or 300 miles on it by the end of the week.
Yeah. That's true.
32er, you're going to be able to drop that bottom bracket quite a bit, having an extra inch and a half
Yeah.
of tire.
In fact, it's interesting. Have you seen a lot of the builds
No,
that like
I've seen the few that pop up on Bike
I've seen a couple that are set up single speed, and it's interesting because the chain ring is lower than the cog in the rear, so the chain line actually goes up, and so it's an interesting
Yeah.
look.
Yeah,
you
so
know?
that's not good for full suspension if that's happening because you'll get you'll be pulling that shock towards you,
Yeah.
making the rear end move a lot.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess that's
So
and that's where my head goes, at least, that it makes more sense from a hardtail or a gravel rig perspective for 32 to be advantageous to some
Well, at the same
extent.
time, shock technology's gotten so good with flight attendant and live valve. Like, if it's all locking out on its own, you're not going to be blowing the suspension anyways.
yeah, like especially like out of the saddle efforts and stuff like that. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it's about to blow up, and I think you're exactly right. Bike companies are looking for something else to sell.
Well, it's more than just a new bike. It's new wheels, new tires, new suspension.
It's a whole
new rack.
Yeah. No. That was one of the things that the guy Dickey, Team Dickey, that I was reading his blog, he actually put his in a 1-up and had it shut. He said just to settle this debate. No new.
I know it was a big deal from 26 to 29.
Did he say how tall he is? What size bike?
He's not very big.
So
I want to say
small would fit, but how about a large or an extra large? Like,
that's a fair point.
they need to be.
But
Like the wheelbase is going to be exponentially.
I want to say he's 5'8", 5'9", maybe.
Yeah, my size.
Yeah. Which
So maybe a medium bike.
yeah. Let's see.
So what is your preferred mountain bike platform this year, Austin?
Full suspension.
Okay.
It's a 9er is what I'm on.
Okay.
I'd like something else with a little more triangle room, so I could get a bigger bladder in the front triangle in a bag. The way I've got it set up now, I can get like almost 2 liters, but it'd be nice to have an extra liter in there.
That's just set up.
Yeah, that's nice.
Looks on the small side.
Those are big wheels. So
Yeah.
everything.
It's hard to tell. It's interesting as hell. I really want to go for a ride.
He is
one.
a small stature guy. I don't remember if he said his. So there it is in the rack right there.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of room.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, those arms can go up quite a lot.
Okay.
Because we have to put kick arse way out when we have 2 road bikes on there. So the drop bar set the.
I don't know why it keeps going all the way back like that.
And I know we mentioned it in the past why we were really interested in getting Austin on here, but as a reminder for anyone that may have missed that, Austin brings a unique viewpoint, in my opinion, to these discussions, in that he's a black kit rider. He's unsponsored intentionally.
That's
correct.
Right. Yeah.
So you're going to give your honest opinion on stuff, right? You're not clouded by sponsorship requirements in any way, shape, or form.
Not at all.
So you say you're on the 9er now, but do you have your eye on anything specific, or just?
Yeah, there's a handful of 120 frames that I'm interested in.
Okay. Keep us in the loop.
Yeah,
I'm interested.
With the shock out of the way a bit, so there's more room in the front triangle.
Cool.
I think 120 is kind of taking the spot of 100 for 20 Fabs for 2026. I mean, not a whole lot of options for 100 mil. I mean, it's the same shock. It's just de-stroked a little bit, so the weight's the same, but you get extra travel, so it makes perfect sense. It's kind of hard getting the old heads convinced to that, though. Like the guys who've been riding 100 mil XC bikes their whole life.
But you think about, like, even with 100 mil travel, like, and this isn't going to be exact, but you really only have 80 mils of butter. You know, the top end is, everything slows down. Well, I'm trying to think how to phrase this. With 120 mils, you have more usable suspension, obviously, but you have more of that butter zone. Like, you could typically or theoretically have like 100 to 105 millimeters where it's just beautiful, instead of, like, you know, because the first 5 mils or so is kind of your breakout, you know, like where your suspension starts to break loose and starts to get in that zone. And then the top end is where it starts to bottom out and starts to limit and everything. So you could say, even with 120, you're probably using about 100 mil that's really good. So it's what you're looking for out of 100 mil. But
if sweet spot is a percentage, it's a longer sweet spot.
Yeah. I guess
is that what you were getting
I took
at?
the long way to say that, but yeah.
Several more. More travel.
And I think the guys that are hesitant to move from 100 to 120 lack that vision and that understanding.
Yeah, well, the old train of thinking of it is like 100 mil is going to be lighter, right? You're going to save some weight. But nowadays, like, it's the same. Either way, they're running the same stuff. Just 100 mil bikes have 5 mil less stroke on the shock.
And I think with the ability of all the shocks to be tuned and and just suspension geometry changing and everything. The old worry about you want to keep your wheel on the ground as much as possible. I don't think that's as much of a concern nowadays as it was, 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah. Good
So,
suspension system. You're going to be glued to the ground.
yeah. So I don't think there's a concern with moving from 100 to 120 with that, which may be stuck in, like you said, the old head's mind.
Yeah, Brad did have a fantastic point about the weight savings of 32-inch bikes the other day. Shorter seat posts, so you're going to save.
Yeah, but you got more room for a longer crank.
Yeah.
So you're going to run.
What will that do to the current shorter is better crank scenario?
It's the opposite, right?
Yeah.
You have more room.
Well, and that's the interesting thing that I didn't even thought about. Makes perfect sense, but this guy Dickie, he's a single speeder, so he was talking about the comparison of gear ratios for transitioning from 29 to 32. Because remember, we went through all of that with 26 to 29. Like around here, everybody was running a 2-to-1, so you were running like 32-16. Well, it became quickly evident that when we went to 29er, you needed to up that gear a little bit. So
ultimately, it's still 2-to-1, but it's not. It's
a conversion.
It's not
2-to-1.
At 26. 2-to-1 is 32-16. That is 2-to-1.
That's a true 2-to-1.
Well, but it's still 2-to-1 on number of rotations front and back.
Well, I'm just talking about.
But it's different gearing that accomplishes 2-to-1.
I'm talking about a number comparison before
I
we get all
understand.
geeky and go into Sheldon and Brown's gear calculator and all that stuff. I'm talking about back then it was 32-16. That's what you ran. 34-17, whatever. And now when we started doing all that, then it was like, well, you need to step it up 2 gears in the back step it up 2 gears in the back or drop 1 in the front. This is before narrow wide. And that was kind of the prescription across the board. So if you were running 32-16, you went to a 29, or you started running 32-18. So
I understand.
With Dickie, he's talking about basically the same progression.
But my point is 2-to-1 is still 2-to-1 from the mechanical perspective.
Sure.
And that's where the term 2-to-1 came from. It just coincidentally in single speed 26-inch worlds, it's just so happened that the gearing ratios of a front crank 32 and a 16 cog accomplished that 2-to-1 ratio from the crank to the rear wheel.
Yeah.
So the math is still 2-to-1. And it used to be 2-to-1 and mash it 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Was ideal. And now it's just spin everything at 138 RPMs as much as you can. You're a spinner, right, Austin?
No. I grind everything. People comment on my cadence being too low.
What is your typical cadence range?
Typical endurance ride, I'll be like 60, 58, 62.
Yeah.
Threshold, I'll be at 82, and VSG max, and when I'm racing a crit, I'll be over 100.
Yeah, when you ride with him, it's sickening because he never looks like he's working.
Yeah, it's because I'm not.
Yeah, not when he's riding with me.
Oh,
that's
Brad needs you to work on his polarity plan.
I need to just get on my bike. I didn't even ride yesterday. I said I was going to ride yesterday.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
I'm still coughing stuff up. I'm over 4 weeks out. I still feel cloudy and almost run down. I was telling Austin in the parking lot, I said it's very reminiscent of like long COVID, They didn't test me for COVID. They tested me for flu. And I guess that's exactly what I had because I came back positive, but it has lingered so long, and I just feel, and what's crazy is I'll have days where I'm like, okay, I feel much better. And then the next day I'm like, oh, what is going on? So, and I've done some rides where I felt great, and some rides where I'm like, what am I doing? So,
well, was there anything you had on the agenda that you were wanting to touch on or talk about, or is there anything that's shiny in your eye?
I'm glad we touched on the history of Chainring Massacre on the rotation. I was real curious about that last year when we moved. I wish the weather wasn't such a crap show. It's always hit and miss in January, but it's usually not this bad.
Yeah, this will be our first snowed out one.
Quick question: who's won the most Chainring Massacres?
Oh man.
You don't know this? You should know this.
No, well, see, now you get into my concussion head stuff. No, I'm serious. I literally have amnesia.
Okay, it's all blurry. You've done too many of them.
No, I have amnesia. There's stuff that's gone.
Yeah.
I think it's Matt. I'm pretty sure it's Matt,
He's probably done the most too.
and he's done the most. It would well, Matt or Lauren, depending on how you want to label it. I mean, how many do you have?
I think
2?
5 or 6.
Oh, do you have that many wins? It might be you then.
Could be. Matt was doing them long before.
No,
He probably
no,
did
you-
6 of them before I did my first.
Were you around in the Russ Walker days when he would come over for those?
He won one. If you got 5 or 6, you might be at the top of the list then.
But I didn't always do.
But
I always did the longer one, or not always. I think the first time I won, I did the longer one. And
that's also where it gets
Yeah.
confusing, for lack of a better term. Like I said, I flip flopped over the years. Which is it? The long one that's the premier event this
Yeah.
year, or is it the other?
Yeah, so maybe I had won the D race.
But it's not a B race.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Well, I think it is a B race because if there's cash on one race and then
understood. Whenever we did the cash on the long race, we still had most of the roadies that were still racing the shorter
okay.
one, generally speaking. And I'm not going to name any names here, but they're the the ones with the best resumes in the area. They still wouldn't race the long
Yeah,
one.
it kind of seemed like the way I would do it is I would look to see who was registered, and if all the A name riders were on the short race, I would be the short race because I figured that would be the A race.
Yeah.
And
then one year I came in after having the flu for 6 weeks, and I saw everybody was registered for the short race, so I registered for the long race because I knew I wouldn't be riding with them for very long because I've been sick the last 6 weeks. So I won that race because nobody else showed up, or everybody was racing that one.
right.
Yeah.
And that would shift. Whenever we put the money on the shorter race, obviously the biggest talent went short that year.
Yeah.
But when we would put the money on the longer race, there would be a few heavy hitters that stepped up for the longer race, but the vast majority of faster riders would still stay in the shorter race, sort of thing. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, the big, for us, what turned into the big deal breaker on that one was, if you got people that are doing 20 mile an hour plus for 100 plus miles, fantastic. And that's who that race was made for. But we would have people that would show up from all over the country, and this is going to be the first 100 plus miler of any kind. And we would have people coming in at 9 o'clock at night when it's 12 degrees outside.
And that's something else we didn't talk about is having the field capable of doing the long race. Like you got to have a pretty nice sized peloton to get the rest of the field through the first 50 miles in a draft before they shell off and have to ride by themselves for the last 50 miles.
Yeah.
You could save a tremendous amount of time running that tactic.
Yeah.
And just knowing you're going to get shelled off 50 or 60 miles in and holding on for as long as you can.
Yeah.
And having a big peloton really helps with that.
Yeah. So from your perspective, you're just using people and marking anybody that you perceive as a competitor.
That's road racing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let Matt Stevens build the rush, right?
No, right.
Because they'll ride away from us.
Right. But somebody else, you go, let him have a flyer. It'll be all right.
It's just Justin.
We'll
It's just Justin.
I'll let Adam go for the road.
burn those matches, baby. That's awesome.
So what is on your calendar? What's got you excited for this year?
I want to do some more road racing this year. Cedar Hill Road Race is coming up. That would have been the end of February.
Yeah.
So Chainring Massacre would have been first in that. And then that Doom Race, which is kind of a play on the Triple Crown. It does the same course, but more gravel. I think it's
And longer.
longer and 100 miles more gravel.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't remember how long it is, 300 something. It's going to be long.
I'm stoked to see you do that.
So I'm planning on that.
And then you're doing the Knob Hills time trial,
Yes, and then
and
the
then
Trinity race, which we end up calling
the
that.
Trinity Monster Cross,
Monster Cross
The
race.
Trinity Trio.
the Trinity Monster Cross Trio, or
Do you have
Monster
a date
Cross
set
Trinity.
for Red River, right? Yeah.
I do, May 18th, I think.
So we'll
Ba-
plan on that too.
basically, Gravel Locust weekend, since they're taking this year off, is what it is.
Oh, okay.
Why
So-
are they taking this year off? Do you think are they legitimately just taking the year off, or are they folding up shop?
I have no
Selling a lifetime.
knowledge.
They're getting, if their lawyers are preparing the paperwork to turn it over to Lifetime.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that'd be great.
Coincidentally,
Maybe you get some of those riders out the Red River. Not that that's what you want, because
I mean,
the early season races like that are great for those races. That's
Well,
why
and
gravel
that-
Locos did so well.
yeah, that was the thing. There was people are used to doing something in that time frame, and I'm not.
Yeah.
If Gravel Locos comes back next year, it's like fantastic. Have your date back. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's like
So
that-
you're moving that race up 2 or 3 weeks, right? I remember it being like that.
well, traditionally we've done Red River Riot Easter weekend. Last year we stayed in the same time frame as Easter, but not Easter weekend proper. And actually, I think we did that the last 2 years.
I got third at Red River Riot one year at the 136 mile.
I don't know how you run that far.
Yeah.
That's good.
Got caught in a storm.
Everybody did,
Yeah.
and it finished it
Badass.
off with since Quebec, right?
No.
Oh,
That was when you were staging from that house.
oh man, it was the Roadrunner house.
Yeah.
It was the house called.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Dude, you got third that year. Huh?
Mhm. I think Brandish got first and JP got second and I got third.
Okay, Dan,
Yeah.
you were something back then.
I used to be.
Let's get you back.
I used to be the guy that did stuff. Now I just talk a lot. I'm like the Dorbo Forum personified.
So all right, so we're going to do the time trial in June. When should we do the Trinity Monster Cross thing?
I think you do it spring.
Yeah, I'd say April.
April's pretty full.
Maybe.
May.
May's super full. Maybe March. Might have to squeeze it into March.
I want to be opposed to that.
Yeah, March could work.
Are
Just
you
depends on
doing
the weather.
Mid South? Maybe Mid South weekend would be.
Have you ever done Mid South?
Yeah, I did it 2020 muddier.
Oh, okay. Was that the reason it was one and done for you? Did you just get a bad taste in your mouth, or?
No, it's fine. It's just it's kind of an expensive race, and I don't want to free reg for it if there's a chance of rain. Like I'm not going to go there and ride in the mud again. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
But if I could find a friend that needs a transfer or something, I'll buy a transfer.
Yeah. It
But
just
I'm not going
seems
to
like
bank on it.
they're always plagued with bad weather, and it seems like they.
The years that
they
where
lean
they do
into
have
it.
good weather,
Mhm.
it's crazy. Those
Yeah.
roads are so fast. Like
Yeah.
there would be sub 4 hours for that.
Yeah.
That's when I got my concussion. It caused me the amnesia.
Yeah.
Or maybe, not sub 4, sub 5 hours.
It was
Yeah.
I was strongest I've ever been, and I was going to lay down a hell of a 100-miler. And I had never been. And I'm not knocking Mid South. I'm not knocking Bobby's setup. I don't want anyone to take that. And back to you were asking about the size of Chainring Massacre. I had never ridden with that big of a group of people on gravel, and
It's chaos.
it's absolute chaos. So I wasn't worried about starting towards the back. It's like, all right, I'll be casual about it, and I'll just work my way through. I was 30 miles into it, and I was clipping along, and it was just a bunch of idiots all over the place, all the way across the road. And
Should have been faster.
I should have started closer to the front. Is what I should have done. I was too fast for that crowd. Is what it
Yeah.
was, and just got caught up in a stupid mess on a blind descent down a hill. And
Can you imagine what Unbound is like now?
no, I can't.
Man.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm not knocking the big events. It's like I don't want to have anything to do with anything at that scale. 1,000 would definitely be my ultimate limit, and that's me still segmenting the some kind of wave format.
Because I mean,
Especially on these roads here.
Yeah.
They get a little narrow.
when I did Hotter Than Hell, the one and only time I ever did it, that was and this was decade plus ago. That was my biggest deterrent
Yeah.
is there was just too many people and there was too many dipshits.
Yeah.
Well, and it's gotten worse now with
Oh, yeah.
trainer fitness. People can get really fit without building any
Skills, yeah.
Zero skill building. Zero skill.
Bring
building.
back rollers.
And concussions will go.
Rollers and doorways. Come on. But
I kind of miss rollers, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
but I think that's the thing with like Unbound too. I mean, I did it the last year I did it was 2012 and there was 1,000 plus people then.
Right.
Now it's I think 4,000 is their cap or something.
like that.
So I can't imagine how chaotic that is. And then what's Land Run? What's it called?
Mid
South. What's it? What do they cap at now?
I
1,500 or something?
I think they're up in the 3,000.
Oh,
Two
shit.
to 3,000 range,
Yeah.
I think, but I don't know that for sure.
I mean, in Unbound, the benefit of that is they have a 100-miler. I think they even have a 50-miler now, but they have a 100-miler and a 200-miler. So even if you had the same amount of people as Mid-South, you still have the potentiality for there to be a bigger spread over the course of time, and also more people pulling out because they're not prepared to go 200 miles if they sign up for the 200 miler. Versus Mid-South, I think you have a 50 miler on that. There may even be a 25 miler on that. So I don't know what their start process is like, but it's got to get. There has to be a medium between just the money grab of signing up as many people as you can to making it a fun event for everybody.
I think money grab is part of it to some extent, but I think it's
I know
more,
it's not that cut and dry.
I think it's more along what makes a successful event. There's people that just have this thing in their head. The more people that show up, it's the most successful event. And it's real easy to get caught up in that. And like I said, we've always been the opposite in that we're wanting to put on the best show we can for the right people, sort of thing. I'm not trying to say I'm better. It's that we've never got caught. Well, you've over the years always, you could get so many more people if you did this. And that's the natural instinct of people. It's like, I don't necessarily want that many more people, sort of thing. Chainring Massacre is the one exception that I've toyed with over the years of we'll grow it a little bit at a time. And that worked from us from 2010 when we had 100 people to 2020 when we had 750. But it was an incremental rate. We could have jumped up to 750 well before we ever got there. I just wouldn't let it, sort of thing.
I think that Mid-South and Hotter Than Hell both have that intangible. One of the reasons they have such big attendances, there's a ton of people that put Hotter Than Hell on their calendar and they say, I'm going to ride my first century.
Well, sure.
And they train just to do that. And Mid-South is the same thing. People go, I'm going to ride my first gravel century.
I don't think so anymore. I think at one time it was. It's just too hard to get a spot. It's like Leadville. Leadville is not getting those first timers anymore. They got to have people who've seen it for a couple of years and they finally get selected.
And I mean there was a time where the lore of Mid-South was the mud. Most people are kind of over that now.
I used to chuckle about it. I'm like, do they just create mud if they don't get any?
There were a couple years
going out and just spraying roads with water trucks or what?
But again, weather's always a factor. It wasn't their plan, and the first 3 years were 2 of the 3 years were like that,
and they just leaned in.
They had to. They had. You can't be apologetic for it, then nobody's going to show up.
Was it last year that they had the fire and they cut it short, or was it the year before?
I think we covered a lot of ground.
We've covered a lot of ground. And plus, I need to get. I've got a couple of errands I need to run and stuff.
Okay.
You don't have to go to the store.
We need to ride your bike, though.
I am going to ride my bike today.
I'll be on the lookout on Strava.
All right.
See it.
Don't worry, it's not going to be impressive.
I'm gonna pencil it in my head that we're doing Trinity Monster Cross.
Do you hate my bike pics that bad?
Why do you post a picture of your bike every ride?
Because I don't tag my bike in my ride. Like say this ride was
just
done
for a record.
Yeah, it's just for a reference. Like I'll go back and look.
Well, then you have miles on everything.
Because I'm not that organized, and I don't
why are you
care
taking
that much.
pictures if you don't care?
Just because if I go back and look at the ride, I want to go, oh, I averaged 14 miles an hour.
That's a fast bike.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, that was on this bike. And then
I only have 6 miles on.
Yeah.
No wonder.
Never fails. I was just looking and see if no, it's still 2 inches on Saturday, which is crazy because yesterday
2 inches everywhere.
Hey. Last night before I went to bed, they were calling for 2 inches on Friday and 11 inches on Saturday. So it's a big shift.
7 degrees now on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
High of 20 on Sunday.
Yeah. The freezing's staying through Monday now.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not going to get much better. Through the week. I know you don't play Sydney.
I think Wonderground's the most accurate that I found.
I think so too.
Windy.
I tried it. I think I was just pre-programmed for Wonderground.
It happens.
So,
yeah, I think we over rely on it. It's not nearly accurate enough to rely on much as we do. Now in this case, it's going to be cold either way.
Yeah.
Whether it's 7 or 15. It's
Yeah.
cold.
It's gonna be. We're past the point that it's not going to be super cold. We know that. It's just a matter of how much moisture is.
And we're definitely going to get precip before it gets super cold.
Yes.
So that really equates ice, icy roads. My biggest fear is ice accumulation on tree limbs and power lines.
I really don't want to. I don't want to have another extended freeze with lots of people without electricity.
I got plenty of firewood. I can't tell you how many meals during the, and I cooked multiple meals in my fireplace. Yeah.
You lost electricity up here?
Oh yeah. We were without electricity for, I think the first 2 or 3 days we didn't have power. And then they started doing the rolls where we would have power for like 10 minutes. And we would have everything staged and I
starved.
Yeah, I felt like a goofball because it wasn't until like 2 days into the rolls where I was like, my truck's got a power outlet on it. And because I was like waiting.
Generator.
Yeah, I was waiting until the power came on to like grind coffee. And I was like, I could have done that in my truck. Could have just gone up there.
Pestle and mortar, don't you?
Yeah, but did you ever grind coffee like that?
No.
Plus mine's got
It's better than
garlic flavor.
that sounds artesian.
No, I think we're a lot more prepared now. And I have a generator, but I have never fired it up and figured out how to
wait
hook it up.
till we lose electricity to work on them.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about it. You know, as a matter of
Honda
fact,
Harbor Freight. It's Harbor Freight.
no, it's a good one. I forgot what it is. I was gifted it. But I remember we put our stuff in ice chests and put our ice chest outside to keep it cold, but had to keep the ice chest closed just to keep everything from freezing.
Yeah,
And it
we
was
just
just
emptied our freezer out into our backyard.
Yeah. So
Keep everything frozen.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, they could knee jerk on Thursday tomorrow, and we could end up not having any precip and just cold temperatures, or it could go back to we're going to have a foot of snow. Did y'all see the snow that's going on in Russia right now?
No,
Have you not?
I have not.
Look at this,
Now, gas prices are soaring right now.
dude. I thought this was AI at first. Look at this.
It's not snowing. The snow's over.
This looks fake.
That's fake.
It's not fake.
That's fake.
It's not.
How do you know it's not
Because they're
fake?
Russians.
Russians don't have.
Watch this. That's how much snowdrift they're ending up with. This is not fake.
That's not. But the other one,
You think that's fake?
I don't know.
yeah, at this point you can't tell.
It is spooky.
At this point you really can't tell.
Looks fake, but there's no telling.
It doesn't. Some of it looks
That
fake.
doesn't look fake.
Some that look fake.
Did it?
Yeah.
That looks fake?
Yep.
And how do you know this isn't normal?
You've got a better eye than I do.
I don't know that.
There's multiple
That's
videos
fake
like,
as hell.
There's
That's
multiple
fake as
videos
hell.
like this.
That's fake as hell.
There is multiple videos like this.
It's cold.
It looks
They
cold.
they've got you pegged.
Looks like a
they've
good
got
place.
you
Looks
pegged.
like a good place for a race
All right.
to me.
So the game plan going forward is you just let us know when you want to join, right?
I'm sorry. Repeat that.
It's always an open.
And we're
invitation.
deep. We're deep into the conversation
It's
here.
in. Yeah.
Yeah. So
He's burnt out.
you
It's
just figure out
open
what you wanna
invitation. You just tell us when you want to be there,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
you're
Now
welcome
that I know the
anytime.
rules.
do. Yeah. Like I said, we weren't trying to exclude you for January. We were just going to let you kind of settle out and.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to chase me down. You know.
Okay.
It was not terrible to get up here. It's like 30
Yeah.
minutes, but I could always work it into a ride or something.
And we could
up
come
here and sit
closer,
in my
too.
booth for a couple hours.
Yeah, and we could come closer too.
Okay.
So we could always go to Mad Duck and set up.
Potentially.
Yeah,
Sure.
especially if the weather's good, we can set up out back.
Sail out back again.
There's the fire station there, but
Well, there is that, but it's no different than the train by your place.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's work on that Gateway River Legacy. So if you need help with it, I want to learn.
I
want to learn
I
everything.
am
you do,
penciling
so-
that in for Mid-South weekend at the moment.
Okay.
So that's March. So is that too soon?
No, not at all.
And then we need to figure out the Knob Hill time trial thing. You're thinking June?
June.
And
And he's going to let us know when that fits into his training schedule.
I liked it. I liked it.
All right.
Good chatting, guys.
Good to see you, Austin.
Go ride your bike.
Go ride your bikes.